हेलो गाइस, वेलकम टू माय चैनल। मैं हूँ आदि और ये है शिवा। हिज फीट, शिव जी के पैर, वो है ऊपर। ही इज़ अप देयर, ही इज़ लुकिंग ओवर ऑल ऑफ अस। बट वेलकम टू माय चैनल वेयर वी विल टॉक अबाउट history, philosophy, art, science, culture, everything. My name is Advait, so Adi and Shiva, and we are going to talk about a lot of things. But before I get into the things that we are going to talk about, I just wanted to give you an overview of what this channel is all about, you know. So, the world is fucked. Okay? The world around us is completely fucked. And we need to start talking about why it's fucked rather than just saying that it is fucked. Meaning, we need to talk about the deeper causes of it rather than just talking about the symptoms. For example, oh, the world is fucked because there's war everywhere is a symptom. The war is a symptom. We need to talk about why there is war, right? And this is not just about war or whatever, but you get my point. That's just an example, right? So, for the purpose of this video, let's divide the world into two different thought processes. Okay, one, so this is the world, and one is the Western thought process, and the other is the Indic thought process, the Hindu, Sanatani, whatever you want to call it. Okay, now the Western thought process and the Indic thought processes are two completely different thought processes. They have a completely different perspective of the world, a completely different understanding of the world, and that matters. Okay, we don't talk about it, so I'm here to talk about it. That matters. For example, the Western perspective religiously believe looks at the world is a monotheistic perspective, meaning that they believe that सिर्फ एक भगवान है. There is only one God and he is the all-powerful, omnipresent, omnipotent, etc. The Hindu thought, for example, believes that are polytheistic in nature, meaning that we believe in multiple gods. We pray to multiple gods, which is a direct result of understanding that nature is not a single entity, but rather multiple entities doing an intertwined, multiple entities which are intertwined and codependent for their coexistence. Right? It is a deeper understanding about nature and the universe. In the Judeo-Christian thought, they believe and propagate that man has a right to have a dominion over nature and that man is separate from nature. In the Hindu thought, we believe that man is one with nature and the purpose of somebody's life is to be in harmony with nature. We come from nature. We are nature. I am nature. You know, guys, yeah. So, we were the OG people who said that. Don't forget it. So, these things, these two thought processes are completely different, and these things create massive impact on the world. And therein lies the problem and the solution of that problem in a lot of ways, right? Because, see, here's my point. The systems that we are currently ruled by, may it be the educational system, the philosophical, the pedagogical, the jurisprudential, हमारे justice system हो, कुछ भी हो, all of these things are right now currently a product of Western ideas, Western philosophies, Western morals, etc. They are rooted in Western ideas, and ideas are very, very paramount to the creation of physical reality. Okay, and let me tell you how. Suppose, for example, you want to have a fried egg. Okay, that's the desire which pops up into your mind. Okay, so you now want to have a fried egg, which exists, that desire exists here in the mental dimension, in the spiritual state, let's say, or in the mental dimension. Okay, in the mental dimension, you cannot just get a fried egg or eat a fried egg by thinking about it, right? So what do? Let's say you're sitting in your room, you get up from your room, you go to the kitchen, you put the stove on, you put a pan on it, you put oil on it, you break an egg, and you cook an egg, you fry an egg, and you eat it, right? So what you wanted is now fulfilled by putting in work for that want, right? So the work or the physical labor exists in the physical reality, in this reality, but the thought of it, the root of it, started here in your mental state, in an idea, right? For example, if you wanted to have a boiled egg instead of a fried egg, you would not go to the kitchen and fry an egg. That would be stupid. You would go to the kitchen and boil an egg and then eat it. So our want, our desire is the reason, is directly related to what happens in physical reality. You can say it, you can say it in other words, that our mental state creates physical reality. That is how powerful it is, guys. That is how powerful our mind is. It can and it does literally create the physical reality around us. Okay, if you want to go to the gym and if you want to lose weight, if you just keep thinking about it, oh, I will be, let's say, 10 kgs less in the next 4 months. If you just keep thinking about it without going to the gym or putting in work or playing or whatever it is, you will not be 10 kgs less, right? You will probably more or stay the same or whatever. But if you think that thought and then put in the work for it every day, that will happen. That reality will become the truth, right? So we can literally take something from the mental dimension, and if we put in the work, we can create, we can transform it. Like, it's like alchemy. We can transform it into the truth, right? So this is a very important point to understand, because ideas, like Plato has said, are the source of all things. Okay, let's come back to my original point. The world that we are living in right now is driven by Western ideas, obviously, because the Christian church and the Christian world imposed themselves onto the global order. They looted, raped, harassed, whatever you want. They killed the spirit of civilizations which were tens of thousands of years old. You know, the Indian civilization is one of them, except that the Indian civilization did not lose its Hindu identity, which the rest of the world did. Ireland, for example, where I am now, lost its Gaelic or Irish identity and adapted to Christianity or surrendered to Christianity, right? But we are still Hindu. We are the memory of a world which they do not want us to remember, if I can put it that way. But anyway, this is not about religion or whatever, but rather this is about the new religion or religion of the new world, which is science. Yes. You see, science is the current head of the global order. First, it was the church. We did whatever the church said. The church said, you can't believe in this God, you can't do this, you can't eat with your hands, you have to use a fork, you have to use a knife, you have to wear. Okay, guys, so I know the church literally did not go and tell people to eat with like forks and spoons, but you get my point, I hope. Clothes like this, you have to wear a suit, you can't wear that, you can't do this. And they impose that. They hurt people, they killed people, they killed civilizations for that, just so the world could be according to their liking, right? Then the rest of the world kicked them out, told them to fuck off. Some sadly lost their identity. We Indians have not lost our identity. And now the same thing has been replaced by science, because science was the thing which originated in Europe, and that was the first thing probably which internally challenged the church from within Europe, right? And that is how science came into existence, because it was sick and tired of the church telling them what to do, what not to do, what to think, what not to think. And people, obviously, who are explorative in nature, wanted to find answers for themselves, and that is what science is. So the science that we know and love today is basically Western science, right? And then that Western science rose, but this attitude and arrogance of being the world order did not really go away. And that is why science right now has assumed authority over everything. What is the age of the universe? What is consciousness? What is right? What is wrong? What is moral? What is immoral? Philosophy, metaphysics, everything they think falls under their dominion. And that is a very dangerous way to live as well. And here is why. Because the teacher, which is science right now, is not a good teacher. Science itself does not understand the world. It does not understand most of the universe. And here is the reason why. You see, science is only rooted in the physical flow of logic. It cannot understand something until it observes that thing. That is the first step of the scientific thought process. Observation, right? Or rather, you can observe or hypothesize, but you need observation, You need to see things. Science needs to see things to understand them. And that is a very slippery slope because, like I said, most of the world, or a lot of things, the thing where it is coming from, the infinity that it is coming from, exists in a spiritual dimension or a mental dimension. And if we do not understand this mental dimension, we will never be able to successfully create or develop a physical reality which has equity, which has divinity, which has morals and philosophies, and which is, like the West loves to say, good for the people, the greater good. So, if I have to say it in their own words, Western science is not a device for the greater good of the human society. At least right now. It might have been at one point and it has given us a great world, no doubt, but it has now reached its limitation, its final frontier. That is why they cannot move beyond black holes in astronomy, and they cannot understand, they are lost in the quantum wind when it comes to quantum physics, right? They are going through the same things again and again for almost 100 years. It's the same thing, the same papers, the same. It's boring right now. It's not exciting. And that is why the world around us has gotten so boring. It is restricted to logic and logic alone. And you see this in everything. You see this in sports, in music, you see this thing everywhere. Sports are not as exciting anymore. Music is not as exciting anymore. Art is not as exciting anymore. Life in general, movies are not as exciting anymore. Life in general is just not as exciting anymore. It's just not human anymore. It's become a result of some scientific argument which is being proposed to the entire society and has been imposed on the entire society by some people who I don't know, in Oxford halls or whatever, wherever these guys sit, right? And that is not the way to be. That is not the way for humans to live. We are not naturally born to live under somebody else's guidance. We are born to explore democratically. And that is what all the great things we have in the human civilization are a direct result of human collaboration. Human collaboration which is stalled deliberately by scientific methods, laws, and processes. Right? Science is simply blindly, arrogantly stupid and ignorant towards spirituality and consciousness. They actually debate whether consciousness is even a thing, which is the most stupid thing I have ever heard. But the point is that we need to move beyond science. And this is where I and my friend Shivji come in. You see, the Sanskrit perspective of the world is the perspective of the world we need right now, because it is a comprehensive study of mind and body, of divinity and mortality, of God and man. It is not biased towards only logic. Logic is a natural state in which everything in the world naturally exists. The flow of a river is rooted in logic. The formation of clouds is rooted in logic. The flight of a bird is rooted in logic. The growth of a tree is rooted in logic. The ripening of a mango is rooted in logic. There is nothing which is naturally occurring which is not logical or scientific. It's the base state. The only reason why the Europeans think that it is deeper is because it was not accessible to them for hundreds or thousands of years due to the church. But there was a world, the Hindu world, the Eastern world, the old world, the pre-Abrahamic world, which was open to exploration. And the Hindu texts are the most comprehensive and most well compiled guidelines of that world. We hence need to start looking at the world the way our ancestors looked at it, spiritually, mentally. So, if you want to look at the same old world, if you want to talk about science, about spirituality, about history, philosophy, art, geography, sport, culture, music, etc., 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 and everything else under the sun, you are welcome to join Adi and my dear friend Shiva in our journey. तब तक के लिए अलविदा, अपना ख्याल रखना, जय हिंद.